First and foremost, you must recognize that the variation of a given conditional is based upon the three criteria upon which I judge if conditionals. So for the first conditional, the time reference is future. The tense is present simple tense in the subordinate clause and future simple tense in the main clause. The degree of possibility, open, neutral, high degree of possibility. So according to this, on the level of the main clause, we will have another form of a tense. And that's why we called it variation of if conditional on the level of the main clause. So we used to have in the main clause the future simple tense, which is composed of will or shall plus infinitive, to have the present simple tense instead of future simple tense in the main clause. When should we have such variation? In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Hello there, hope you are doing well. I am Dr. Alamir, a lecturer of English language and literature. Welcome to a new mini academic lecture about the variations of the first conditional on the level of the main clause. As you know, the conditional sentence is a complex sentence composed of two parts. The first one is if clause, the second one is the main clause. If clause is considered as the subordinate or the dependent clause. And the second sentence, which is supposed to be in the future simple tense, is the main clause. Today we will discuss the variation of the main clause. If you don't see the previous video in which we discussed conditionals in general and the variations of the if clause, please check that video, it will help you a bunch. But never forget that the variations of conditionals is originally based upon the knowledge of the three criteria of conditional. The time reference, the tense, and the degree of possibility. The first conditional is in time reference future. So the time of the first conditional is future. What about the tense? The tense in the if clause or the dependent clause or the subordinate clause is supposed to be in the present simple tense. And the main clause in the future simple tense. The degree of possibility is either neutral, open, or high degree of possibility. So now, if you don't know anything about the variation of the first conditional on the level of if clause, please check that video, it will help you a bunch. Present simple tense instead of future simple tense is used in the following cases in the main sentence of the first conditional. Number one, to express facts. So whether these facts logical or scientific, that follows natural axioms, it is that rules goes according to natural laws used in the present simple tense instead of the future simple tense. For example, if water is heated, it evaporates. In another way, if you boil water, it vaporizes. In another way, if you heat water, it turns into vapor. So all these examples are used in the present simple tense rather than the future simple tense. All has the same meaning. So we say that whenever you heat the water, you will get the same result. Number two, to express habitual actions. For example, if she travels to Alexandria, she goes to the beach. Not she will go to the beach. That's to say, it's a habit for her. It's a fixed routine for her. Whenever she goes to Alexandria, she goes to the beach. Number 3, to express an automatic action. For example, if anyone asks our teacher, he gets furious. That's to say, it is an automatic action of our teacher to get furious if anyone asks him. Number 4, we use present simple tense instead of future simple tense to express inference, whether it is direct or indirect. What's the meaning of inference? Inference is to deduce a meaning out of a context. That's to say, you are guessing a meaning out of a context. And we have already have that example of the variation of F-clause and the direct and indirect inference by changing the present simple tense into present progressive. So now we have the change on the level of the main clause instead of future simple tense by means of the present simple tense. So let's have our examples. First, the direct inference. If anyone is knocking on the door now, she is Beth. Another example. If anyone is breaching the law, he is Daniel. The second variation of the main clause on the first conditional if, not on the level of changing or using the present simple tense instead of the future simple tense, but on the level of changing the modal. So to say, instead of using will, I may use shall to express the personal obligation or the feel of a duty. For example, if we don't hurry, we shall miss the train. If I don't study hard, I shall not get high marks. Another example. We may use of, can or may instead of will to express the permission. For example, if you are tired, you may go home. Another example. You can go home if you feel tired. Here we have two modals used to express giving a permission. Giving a permission for the person. Here we have two modals used to give a permission instead of using will. Another example. We can make use of can to express not a permission, like the above mentioned example, but to express capability. For example, if it gets warmer outside there, we can go for a walk. So here we say that if it gets warmer, if the weather is better outside there, we won't be able to go for a walk. So can express capability. Another example. If you are 18, you can sign sign the contract. That's to say, if you have reached that age, that's to say, you will be able to sign the contract. Another example. We can make use of must instead of will to express obligation. That's to say, to express the force of law. For example, if you go to Italy, if you travel to Italy, you must have a passport. That's to say, it is an obligation to have a passport if you want to go to Italy. Another example. We may use should to express a duty or a piece of advice. For example, if you travel to Alexandria in the winter, you should have an umbrella. So that's to say, this is a sense of a duty or personal obligation or a piece of advice. Examples for indirect inference. If anyone is knocking on the door now, she should be Beth. Another example. If anyone is breaching the law, he must be Daniel. So as you know, we have the modal should and must used instead of will or shall. So this is a sort of variations on the level of the modal. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Hopefully see you soon again in another academic lecture, but never forget, if you found this video helpful, to give me a big thumb up, to share the video to help others, to subscribe to my channel, and press the notification bell and stay tuned to get everything in you. Have a good day. Till we meet again. See you.